Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make this perfect short without having to take your crotch measurement. If this is what you want to learn, let's get right into the tutorial. So for this tutorial, I'll be making use of this crab fabric. It's actually 1.5 yards of fabric. If you're on a big side, you can actually use 2 yards of it or 2.5 yards. So I'll be sharing with you how to make this short without having to take your crotch, as I said earlier. So I'll be folding my fabric into two just like this, and then when I'm done folding it, I'm going to mark out my starting point. At every sewing project, you have a starting point. So this is me ruling out my starting point. From my starting point, I'll be minusing my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. So I'll be minusing 1.5 inch from that 9.5. From 9.5. So I'll be marking my hip line, the length of my shorts, and then I'll be adding extra 2 inches allowance for it. So I'll be ruling it out for you to see it clearly. So when I'm done ruling it out, I'm going to go down to my hip line, my hip or my crotch line, you can use that. So my hip is 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. I marked it out, and then I marked my 1 inch. I'll do the same thing for my waist measurement. I'll repeat what I marked on the hip on my waist measurement. So I will now connect the lines together. To get the crotch line, I'm going to divide my hip plus 1 inch allowance I added. Whatever I get, that's what I'm going to mark in. So I got 2.6. So I'm going to mark my 2.6 there, and I'm going to go in just like this by 1 inch and give it a slight curve for my crotch. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to head off to my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 30. 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. I'll mark it there, and then I'll add 1 inch allowance. Then I'll connect from my waistline down to my hip line. Then from my hip line, I'm going to measure out what I got on my hip line. Whatever I get, I'm going to divide it into 2, just the way you see me doing like this. I'll divide it into 2 and I will mark. I'll do the same thing at the full length of my short. I'll mark it, and I will do the same thing as at the 2 inches I came down with on my shorts, just the way you see me do. Please watch carefully and then understand this. I'm going to rule out the lines. If you don't understand, you can actually go back to rewatch it. So when I'm done with it, I'm going to come down by 2.5 inch. This will serve as my lap line. That's my first lap line. So I'm going to rule it out just the way you see me doing. So my lap is about 24. I divided it and I marked 24, 25. I didn't add any allowance to this, but if you wish, you can do the same thing. I divided it by 4 and I marked. Here I got whatever I got, I divided by 4 and I shared it into 2, just the way you see me doing. I'll do the same thing for the 2 inches down. I think I got there, my round lap there was about 20 divided by 4 was 5. So I'm going to share that 5 into 2, just the way you saw me doing. Please, if you're confused, you can go back and watch. So if you notice, I slanted when I connected this point like this, just the way you're seeing me do. I'm connecting the point. If you notice, I didn't rule it straight down because this is short. I gave about half inch on both sides so that my material will not get short at the end when I'm trying to hem the under. So I'll head off to cutting the front. I hope you understand. So this is it. when I was cutting the front. So when I'm done cutting the front, I'm going to fold my fabric and then cut the back. So I'm going to place my front measurement on my folded fabric. When I'm done placing it, I'm going to add 1.5 inch up, just the way you see me doing like this. From the center front of my front short, I'll go in by 2 inches, just the way you see me doing. Then I'll replace it 2 inches by the side of my short, just the way you see me doing it. Then for my crotch extension for the back, I'll repeat the same crotch I got, which was 2.6. I'll repeat it for my back. Then I will roll it out. Hope you understand. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe. You can ask me any question at the comment section and I'm ready to answer. So I'll add my allowance. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches allowance. Then I'll add 1.5 inches allowance. I'll connect it straight down. Now this allowance depends on you. But for me, I wanted to add 2 inches and 1.5. 2 inches for the lap and 1.5 for the length of my short. Just follow what I'm rolling out so that you won't have to make mistake. So remember that I replaced the 2 inches I removed from the center front of my short to the side of my short. So I'm going to replace the same 2 inches on my hip line, and then I'm going to still mark 2 inches again, yes, on my lap. Then for the length of my short, I'll mark 1.5. Then I will connect the lines together, just the way you see me doing. So when I'm done with that, I'm now going to go ahead to the upper side of my back short and then connect the 1.5 inch I came up with. I'll connect it down to the side back of the short. Then I'll connect that 1.5 down to the crotch line, just the way you see me doing like this. With this, you can achieve your shots. There is no big deal. It's simple, straight to the point. I hope you understand what I'm doing. So this is when I'm cutting it out. Just watch the way I'm cutting it. It's very easy. With this method, you can cut any kind of trouser. Any kind of trouser, trust me. You don't necessarily need to start measuring crotch or whatever. You can use your hip to get your crotch. So this is the back. I'm indicating it's the back. And I'm also going to do the same thing for the front. I'm going to write out the front of it. So I'm going to head off to the sewing machine. When I'm done with this, I'll head off to the sewing machine. I'll sew it by 1/2 inch, just the way you see me doing like this. I'll sew it both the front and the back. I'll sew the flap side by 1/2 inch, just the way you're seeing me do. So let's get to the sewing machine. So this is it when I was sewing it. Gradually, it has to be 1/2 inch or more. You can use at most 0.75, but I think I used half inch for this. So I'll do the same thing for the back too. Carefully sew it to achieve a neat finishing. This tutorial is actually beginners friendly. So when I'm done with sewing it, I'm going to bring both the front and the back. Okay, before then, I'm going to iron it. So when I'm done ironing it, I'm going to bring the front and the back together and sew it by 0.75. I actually use 0.75 to sew the side, that's to stitch the sides together. The front of the short and the back of the short, I stitch it together by 0.75. I will do the same thing for the side, but now for the other part, I'm not going to, that is where I will start taking my waist measurement divided by 2, just the way you see me doing like this. So I'm going to stitch it down. I'll also take my hip measurement too, just like this. Take my hip measurement. I'm sorry if this tutorial is taking too long. I just want to carry everyone along. Some people might be having difficulty in sewing trouser or sewing shorts. With this method, you can sew any kind of trouser, any kind of short. With this method, it will go for anybody, plus size, medium size, small size. So when I was done, I'm now going to sew the middle part of the front, the middle of both the front and the back. Remember, it's together. So I'm going to measure my full length, my full short length. I think around there I got 20. It was 20. I'm going to mark it. Are we 20 or 18 thereabouts? I'm sure going to mark it there, and then I'm going to stitch it. Then I'll do the same thing. I'll take my lap measurement, my first lap measurement, whatever I got, I'll sew it. I'll divide it by 2 and then sew it just the way you're seeing me do. I'll do the same thing for the other one too. As you're sewing, make sure you are arranging them properly so that you won't have to make mistake. So still sewing it. So when I'm done, so this was when I was done, I'll head off to go and hem the down part of my short. Remember, we removed 2 inches, and then I'm going to measure the round of my round waist and then go and cut the band. I will not be using a straight band for this. I want to use a circle band because I don't want any excess on my waist. I noticed that this method is actually the perfect way to actually cut a band. So this is the process. I folded my fabric in a triangular form, just the way you're seeing me do. Then you will get your waist measurement. For me, I used 13 inches because my waist measurement is about 30. So I used 13 inches for length. But for the sake of this illustration, I'm using 10. But for your waist, you need to calculate it. Then you mark this 10 round as though you're cutting a flay round the paper. Then you come down and then determine how many inches you want for your skirt band. I wanted 2 inches, so that is 2 inches. I actually did this thing marked. So now I went to cross check if it's up to my waist measurement. So when it was up to my waist measurement, I had to cut it, although this is for the illustration purpose. But I've already cut my own band of the camera. So this was the band that I cut off the camera. Is the perfect way that I learned how to cut band, and it's so cool. So I'm going to cut the other part of it. I'm going to cut two of it. So this is me placing it on the other part of the material to cut. So I'm leaving about 1 inch allowance, just the way you see me doing, at the down part of the fabric, because I'm going to fold it. When I'm done, I'm going to interface it with a paper stay, and then I'm going to stitch it together, just the way you see me doing. I see that one is longer than one, just like that. When I'm done sewing, I'm going to fold the upper part. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is me notching it. So I've gone ahead to fold it just the way you see me doing, like that, and then I use my chalk to outline where I'm going to stitch on. This one will make the work very easy for you when you mark out with your chalk. So I'm trimming out the excesses from the fabric, and then I'm going to head off to sew it. See how it looks. It's perfect. So this was when I was pinning it down to the short. I used I used the right side of the band to face the wrong side of the short. So the right side of the band is facing the wrong side of the short. Then I'll head off to the sewing machine after I was done pinning. Please make sure you pin down so that the work will go easier and smoother for you. So this was when I was done with the first stitch. Then I'll go ahead and top stitch on the short, just the way you see me doing. So this was when I was done. I will trim off the excess from the fabric. I'll go ahead and add my zip. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.